Greetings everybody, Chef Susan Maddox. Welcome to my kitchen. I am here today to share with you a romantic three-course dinner. Love is in the air, we're going to have some fun and everything. Let's get started. I'm going to make potato latkes today with a smoked salmon rose on top, a little sauteed spinach, and some cream, citrus cream, trilogy of citrus cream sauce to get things started. Then we're going to make, I don't know about you, welcome to a little bit of fun with our beef. I've got a wonderful rub, which I'm going to share with you in just a moment. We're going to do some potato gnocchis with a little bit of cremini mushrooms, some pearl onions, and some peas. And then we're going to finish things off. Because you've been busy in the kitchen, I have a cheater for you. How about a little brandy cherry Foster on, I know, some store-bought pound cake. So, if you're ready, I'm ready. First things first, I want to go ahead and get our meat marinated. As you see, I have this beautiful cut of tenderloin. I'm using beef tenderloin for this. Now, our rub is on the recipe, and make sure when you're putting together a rub that everything smells fresh. You can see the different colors and the spices and everything. So then when you open the container, you know that the spices are not too old. So we're going to get things started. I have my chilies, I have pepper, I have salt, I have brown sugar, cocoa, I know, what are you thinking? A little bit of fun, some cocoa, and some paprika. I have my gloves on and I am mixing this wonderful rub together. The reason I'm doing this first instead of getting right on the smoked salmon is I want this rub to come together, and we're going to rub this on our meat. You can smell the chilies, you can smell the cocoa. I'm using a dark cocoa for this one. And like I said, I have everything already measured. My brown sugar, paprika. And if you want to have some fun and make it my way the first time, you could go ahead and next time use smoked paprika. Again, we're having fun. So I have my beautiful rub and I'm ready to go. We're going to put it on, and you notice I have gloves on, so I'm going to pat this down and I'm rotating. So I have it on a plate. I want to get it nice, set, ready to go. Just so you know, Michael is in the kitchen with us today, right? Why cook alone when you could bring a date?
It's more romantic with a date, and welcome everyone. With that rub, you could also do like a coffee roast, like a chocolate coffee. So using ground espresso beans, or a little coffee, other coffee grinds in there as well. Should I show everyone on the plate what it looks like?
But I just want to show you, just so you know, when you are done, see how everything is nice, evenly coated. Go ahead and put the rest of the rub back in. Don't set it back into the rub, because you're going to see how nice and dry this is. Oh, I missed a spot, Michael. How nice and dry this is, but before we sear it, it is going to kind of weep, as we would say. So here you go. I'm going to take my gloves off. No cross-contamination today.
Very similar to the Italian brociola, and let it air dry. And we can let that dry. You could do that the day before and allow that to air dry and get a little bit of texture on there working as well, as that flavor permeates into that beef tenderloin.
So we're going to go ahead, set it off to the side, and Michael will bring it back in a little bit. But right now, let's go ahead and get these latkes going. I just want to share with you, I'm using a russet potato. A russet potato is also considered a baking potato. It has great starch. It's a low moisture potato. So this is perfect for our latkes. So I went ahead and I peeled mine, and I have my box grater. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to grate my potato. Now, when I do my latkes, I go ahead, I peel, and then I grate immediately. I do not put them in water, because I need the beautiful carbohydrate to go ahead and help me as a binding agent.
The carbohydrates, maybe the starch in the potato as well.
The starch and everything, so we are set, ready to go. So, like I said, I'm just doing this really quick. I don't want it to turn brown, so I have my flour, I have my egg, I am all set, ready to go. So let's go ahead and get this down. And again, if you have your loved one in the kitchen helping you, they can be grating potatoes, they can be doing a lot of fun stuff. So with this, I am making this and I'm serving it with smoked salmon. When you're out and about and you are, looks good to me, when you're out and about purchasing smoked salmon, go ahead, if you've never tried that brand, ask to try it. If you're purchasing at your deli, ask to try it. You know, it's your evening. You don't want it to be ruined by too smoky of a salmon. I have scallions. I'm going to go ahead and cut my scallions and add them into my laki. So, away we go. Now, this is a very simple recipe. The wonderful thing is I could make these ahead of time and then just warm them up in the oven. So, with this, we're going to get our scallions in. My potato was big, so I'm just making a couple lakis. And so I'm not going to, you know, we're on a little time crunch. So, in we go.
Could you also use like baked potatoes? Maybe you bake them the day before instead of using the raw? Like,
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so let's crack this egg. Anytime, you know, those of you who have seen me out at the libraries and everything, that we want to make sure that we always do our potato or our egg in a separate container. Anytime we are, you know, so we can see what's going on. See if it's good, bad. I don't want to put it into here without knowing that it's ready to, you know, that it's okay. So we're going to add our egg in. So right now we have the egg, the egg, the potato, and the scallion. I have flour. Now I measured out, if you're looking at the recipe, it says a half a cup of all-purpose flour. Well, you know this is more than a half a cup. Depending on your potato, it might take more or less. So I always add a little bit in to see how well it's going to bind. Okay, in we go. Pepper. I have my pepper mill here. Yum. I love making these. And I just make them without the smoked salmon. You know, every day is a different day at my house. I hope you feel the same way. So we're going to go ahead and mix this up. Very simple recipe. We've got, if you're following along, we have our potato, we have our scallions. Now looking at this, I'm going to share with you, looking at this, Michael, if you want to show everybody, looking at this, I would add just a little bit more flour. We're going to get our butter going in our pan with some oil. Butter, oil. So, what do you think, Michael? Don't you agree? Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a
more
touch
flour.
because you got some of that water being extracted naturally in the potatoes. So that's why I like using the already cooked baked potatoes ahead of time. But the raw ones are great too. They give a little bit different texture.
Okay, so here we go. We have our butter and oil in the pan. And this is where the great thing is about inviting Michael into the kitchen. We can have Michael go ahead and cook. So let's show them, see how nice this looks now. And while Michael's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to work on the dill cream sauce. So we have our butter and oil together. Michael has the batter. And like I said, don't be alone in the kitchen. Welcome to love.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Okay, so I'm going to move forward. I have my sour cream here in my bowl. And I'm going to zest my trilogy of fruit, my citrus fruit. So when I work with citrus fruit, I always run it under hot water to open up the pores, or you could pop it in your microwave for about 10 seconds. We're opening up the pores and getting things so we get more juice. So I'm going to start with my lime, back and forth. And you could do your citrus cream, you could go ahead and do just orange. I've done where it's just orange and dill for fun, or lemon and dill. So, look how beautiful those look.
Nice, beautiful color there, looking good. I'm going to flip them in a second.
Okay. So, we already have our salt and pepper in there, so it's all set, ready to go. And, Michael, it's just like a pancake. When you're making a pancake at home, you need them to come together. So we want to get that nice and crispy. You know, sometimes we go ahead and we'll finish them in the oven because of the heat.
And if you're making a lot of them, you brown them gently on both sides, and then you can put them on a half sheet pan with a sill pad or parchment paper, and you get them seared off, and then stop at that point, chill them down, and then the night you're going to enjoy that, or your holiday or whatever you're celebrating like that, or just in general to have it, you can just pop them in the oven and finish building right at the last second. So I'm waiting for some color to get on here.
Doesn't the citrus? Yay, smells great. So we've got our lemon, we've got our lime, and we have our orange, okay? So I'm going to set these here. I'm going to use some fresh dill to add to my cream. So, beautiful fresh dill. Now you know if you're using dry dill, you only need to, because I'm using the fresh dill, you will want to use half of that amount because of it being dry. So we're going to go ahead and get this chopped up.
Looks like we get the cast iron pan for the beef to do the beef in, or are you going to do it in this pan here?
I'm going to do it in there.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. So here we go. We're mixing this up. I have my citrus cream ready to go. Michael is going to go ahead and take our Lockies, and we'll come back to it because while Michael puts those in the oven, I'm going to saute my spinach in this pan. So, oh, they look beautiful, nice and crispy. Perfect.
On your citrus cream, of course, we didn't put the juice in there, but if you want a little more liquidy, you could put a splash of juice in that, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
So, Michael's going to go ahead, put those on a silicone pad, and pop those into the oven. We have wonderful flavor here, so I have my spinach. So this is going to come together really fast. But, like we said, if you want, you could make the Lockies ahead of time and then just worry about doing our spinach and everything. So, I have a bunch of spinach. I have cut that, and I am going to go ahead. Nice hot pan, right? That's what we want.
Do you mind if I underneath the orange there, but I got a half an orange already cut. Do you mind if I put a little orange juice in that to make it a little more fluid?
Again, welcome to I'm married to a chef. Who knew? So, we have our spinach and we have our salt and pepper. We're going to get this going. We're going to turn this down. I have a beautiful plate ready to go. And you could make the Lockies bigger if you want, or we're going to go ahead and put 3 on here. So, our spinach, I shut the heat off. And we're ready to go. Okay, I have my spinach ready. Let's talk smoked salmon. I purchased my smoked salmon, and with this, you can see how beautifully this is sliced. Now, I know you're thinking, I'm making a rose? I know. Welcome to fun. We are going to go ahead and use this beautiful thinly sliced salmon to make our roses. So, I like to go ahead and make them and place them right onto the Lockies. The Lockies don't take that long, so here we go, Michael. May I?
One on there.
One. We're going to, should we put the citrus cream ahead? Now, this is up to you. You could put the citrus cream down, then the spinach, but me, I like doing the spinach and then the cream. It's up to you. And sometimes, I just want to share with you, Michael and I, sometimes we don't even do the spinach. We're just having fun. So, see how pretty we're putting the spinach down.
I'll take your excess when you're done, get extra.
I do. There we go. Thank you, sir. Okay, let's put a little bit of cream. Now, again, Michael added some orange juice to it. Here's our little bit of cream. I know. Are you excited? I am. I'm going to give this to Michael. And now, let's talk about these roses. I have the slice, and I am taking off one piece. So see, here's the center of our rose. Now we need leaves, petals. So now I'm going to open this up a little bit more. So then you're going to roll it a little bit more loose.
Beautiful, like this. Again, you can lay it back or put a log on there as well. Really open it up and lay it back too.
So, see how we're doing this? How would I come to the camera? So, I have rolled two pieces together, okay? If you can see that. And now I'm taking my fingers and I'm twirling, okay? So, to me, I love my little rose.
And you can make those ahead of time. You can put those, I'll show you the sheet pan I have, but have those pre-built without the cream, and you would just put the cream on as soon as it comes out. So you can pre-build those as you see here. You can put the rose right on top of here, and you can flash it in the oven just for a few minutes just to warm up everything, get nice and hot, and then come back and drizzle your citrus cream on top.
So, me, I went ahead, as Michael says, it's a snack. I cut it to make it sit a lot easier, okay? So, our first course is ready. Are you still with me? So, let's talk about our entree. With our entree, we need to get our sauce going, okay? The beef, I'm going to sear that just in a couple minutes, but I want to get my sauce going so then I can sear my beef and then I can make my wonderful side dish in my pan. So, our sauce, we are using a demi-glace. What does a demi-glace mean, Michael?
It's stock reduced by half. So a thickened stock or a thickened broth, normally it's a stock reduced by half.
A stock reduced by half. So when you're out and about and you're purchasing broth versus stock, you want to go ahead and you want to purchase that stock, because then we're going to bring that down by half. We're going to take that container and we're going to reduce it by half.
Would you mind, since you're doing that, if I can go ahead and start to sear that off? That way we can kind of get both things going.
Okay. So I'm going to be cutting my shallots. Okay. I'm going to chop my shallots. Chop my shallots. Again, welcome to Michael. He's going to go ahead, and this is a great thing. We're both in the kitchen, we're having fun, and we have our shallots going. Okay? So, I have my shallots. I'm going to add my garlic.
And your pan on low for you up there.
Thank you. Shallots, garlic. Now, I could go ahead and mince the shallots. I'm looking to go ahead and do the slices. So I'm using rosemary today and then a vanilla bean. Remember, we have chocolate. Isn't this fun? We have chocolate in our rub on our beef. So,
you hear that sound of that browning nicely? I'll bring it over and take a peek for the camera. Yum.
Yum. Okay, rosemary. We're going to get our rosemary going. And I'm going to get my sauce going. With this pan, I'm bringing to me, and I am going to add my shallots and my garlic. We're going to get this searing while I chop the rosemary.
For the beef tenderloin, would you prefer that I sear that off and put that on a rack in the oven like this, or keep it in the pan?
Go ahead, Michael. Put it in the oven on a rack.
Okay.
Okay? Oh, you can smell the chocolate.
So I have a rack all set up for that.
And Michael is searing. And again, welcome to having this bigger piece of meat. We could do medallions, and Michael and I have done medallions.
I'm going to turn the little fan on there a little bit just for safety purposes.
We have a beautiful vanilla bean here, and with our vanilla bean, we want to make sure that it's nice, soft. We have the beans that are inside. We're using the whole bean. And I'm going to go ahead, cut this, because it's a smaller amount, cut this, and go ahead and do this. Whoops, that was the fun of our day. There's romance in the kitchen, who knew? So, let's add our stock. We have our stock going, our demi-glace, in with our shallots, garlic. Michael's taking that off. Look how great that is. Okay, so into the oven we go. I'm going to put my sauce up front, and we're going to finish with butter. If you're looking at this, it's butter cut into small pieces. We want this to reduce and then get that beautiful shine. Okay? So,
we have a very safe house here, very safety.
Safe house. Safe house. Okay? So, sorry about that. Welcome to fun. There's too much romance in the kitchen. So, I'm going to go ahead, get my pan, and I'm reducing here. You can see how beautiful we're reducing. And then, I'm going to take this pan, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe this out. Sorry. Wipe this out. And now the pan's nice and hot. I can get my pearl onions cooking. So, if you're following along, our first course is done. Okay? Our first course is done, and Michael has seared the meat, so the meat is in the oven. Welcome to our smoke detector. Sorry about that. Our meat is in the oven, and our sauce is reducing. So the sauce is going, our rub, nice, beautiful, ready to go. So you can see our sauce. And now I'm going to put oil and butter into my pan. Oil, butter into my pan to get my side dish ready to go. Now, what does that mean? That means I went ahead and I cooked dry packaged potato gnocchis. Using miniature gnocchis, they only take 1 to 2 minutes to go ahead and work. I also have peas that I went ahead and blanched. I could use asparagus, I could just go ahead and use scallions and everything, and I'm using pearl onions in this one. So in go our pearl onions, and now I'm working with cremini mushrooms. Our cremini mushrooms I am going to quarter to complement the size of our potato gnocchis. So we have the pearl onions cooking. Do I have to use pearl onions? No, I don't. I can go ahead and I can use, welcome to fun, I could use a regular onion, which would be a yellow onion, and I can use that into this. So, here's our onions, and we want them to get nice and caramelized. Our sauce is reducing, beef is in the oven, and the great thing is, the first course is done, all we have to do is make a sauce for our last one. So, pearl onions, and I'm going to add the mushrooms now. Now, when I'm adding the mushrooms, I want them to get nice and golden, okay? They're going to get golden, and they are going to go ahead and get that great flavor. We're going to add our salt and our black pepper. Crushed red pepper, black pepper. Black pepper, here we go.
And a lot of these are do-aheads as well. The ragu can be made ahead of time. You could build the smoked salmon last second, pop that in the oven for 5 to 7 minutes.
Now, I have my sauce going, and I could have added my wine with my shallots and my garlic.
Like a Bordelaise style.
Like a Bordelaise style. But I can see that my sauce is reducing, so I'm just going to add a little bit of red wine now, so it will also help reduce. Now, those of you who know me, you want to make sure when you are working with a wine that you're cooking with, make sure it's a wine that you drink and everything. So, we have our mushrooms that are already starting to get nice and golden. I'm going to add my potato gnocchis. You can see how small these are. Okay. Michael, can I give you a couple to show them?
Yeah, coming right there. 2 seconds.
Okay, I'm going to put some in my pan, and then you get to see. You can go ahead and cook these ahead of time, just like I did. And that's what I recommend for this dish, is cook them ahead of time, and then all you have to do is add them. And this is a great thing to have have in the house, because sometimes I add them to my chicken soup instead of having noodles or dumplings. Go ahead and add these gnocchis. So you can hear my pan talking to me. Anytime I am working or sauteing, you can hear the pan talking. If the pan is talking to you, that means you can add something else. So, see how easy we're flipping? Everything's getting nice and golden, and we're heating up those gnocchis that only take 1 to 2 minutes. So our beef is in the oven. We're in a 425-degree oven because we want it to go ahead and finish. Here's our peas. We have our peas in, we have our mushrooms, we have our onions. Maybe I should have done this one out on the patio. Those of you who have seen us on our videos and everything, maybe we should have done this on the patio. Who knew we were going to go ahead and get so bright? Now, let's add our cream. Okay? We're going to add our cream. And with this, our cream is going to go ahead and coat our gnocchis, and we have our sauce reducing. With our sauce reducing, the sauce you can make a day ahead. As you know, welcome to any great Italian sauce or any sauce in general, soups, chilies, all that, you can go ahead and make that and let it reduce. So, if you're ready, I'm ready.
So I did unplug the smoke detector, but we also care about food safety as well as house safety. So we'll have to reinstall that later.
Yes, definitely. I'm going to grab a slicing knife. Michael, how is the beef?
Yeah, it's a little bit under where we need to be, but
you know what?
I like about 130 degrees. What do you do?
So if you don't mind, how about I make the cherry sauce to go with? So I'm going to give Michael my sauce. You can see Michael has the sauce. We still need that to reduce.
Yeah, still pretty liquidy still.
Okay, so I'm going to put a pan on. I have my beautiful gnocchi and mushroom mixture. Michael's going to take that also to the back. Shut this off. Shut this off, and now let's make our welcome to, instead of banana foster, I'm doing cherry foster. So, I'm going to add some butter into my pan. And for this one, I have beautiful Michigan cherries. I have orange juice. I have sugar. And I have brandy. So, when we're doing this, we want to make sure that our butter melts, and then we will add our sugar, and then we will add the cherries.
I'm just going to let that sauce reduce, let that ragu come together. I'm looking for that beef about 130, medium rare, so we'll see.
Definitely. So our butter and sugar are going. I have store-bought pound cake. Sometimes it's chocolate, sometimes it's classic. On a great little plate, ready to go. I'm going to move these out of the way. Our gnocchis are reducing. Our beef is cooking. And if you don't like beef, go ahead and do this with a turkey tenderloin, a pork tenderloin. It's all up to you, what you like. So our sugar and butter have melted. I'm going to go ahead and add the brandy. Yay. Add our brandy. And then I have the sides up higher instead of flambeing. The sides up higher, and I'm going to add my orange juice. Now, I can add the orange juice, or I can go ahead and not add the orange juice and just do more brandy. I'm whisking my pan because the sugar is clumping together. and I am using the heat to go ahead and reduce. Please take your cherries, you can use fresh or frozen. Take your cherries and we're going to get them coated. I've now gone from a whisk to a rubber spatula. Okay? Whisk to a rubber spatula. I want these to reduce, come together, reduce, and then they will go ahead and be able to coat the back of the spoon. When you're doing this, you can make the sauce ahead of time or have some fun, have all the dishes cleaned, ready to go. Our flame is still going, ready to go, and then make the cherry mixture later. Now, one fun thing that sometimes I do, I will get the hot cherry mixture going, and then I will turn around and add chocolate to it, okay? So we're letting this reduce and everything.
Boy, it smells good. I can smell the brandy.
Michael can smell the brandy. Welcome to our house. Again, we have the smoke detector going off and everything. So, we have our beautiful sauce. So, let's slow down. The smoke detector's unhooked. We're, sorry about that. But I have the slicing knife.
Look at the thermometer.
Michael has the thermometer. So, we can make the Lockies ahead of time. We can make the citrus cream ahead of time. You could even build your roses ahead of time. So all you have to do is pop those in and then just saute some spinach. Pop those into your oven, saute some spinach. We went ahead and we marinated the, you saw us make our mixture and marinate the beef tenderloin. With that, we are getting the flavor, and you can go ahead, marinate it, and let it sit at room temperature 10 minutes maximum. With that being said, we cooked our gnocchis ahead of time. We went ahead, and while those are cooking, I can take those frozen peas or maybe fresh asparagus, and I can add them into the water of the gnocchis. Once I do that, then they're blanched, ready to go. You do not want to throw in a gnocchi or frozen spinach, throw that into without blanching them. You need to go ahead and activate the chlorophyll. Once that's done, we have our mushrooms, and sometimes I do sun-dried tomatoes and no mushrooms. Our sauce is reducing. I can make the sauce a day ahead, have my shallots, my garlic, wine, red wine. Do I have to add the wine? No. I can just go ahead and use our demi.
And you can reduce that as much as you want. We don't have a ton of liquid left because that's real nice like that. But it could be thinner, or you could take it all the way to nappe.
Okay, and nappe, if you did not know, means to coat the back of the spoon. So, we have our nappe, and our sauces want to be nice and nappe. I have my pound cake cut ready to go. Sometimes if I'm doing this in a dish, I will toast my pound cake in the oven. I can, yes sir?
No, and if you wanted to go ahead and do the beef while that's reducing
Well,
down.
that's, is the beef ready?
Yeah, we're good.
Michael, what temperature did you take that beef to?
Well, I'd like to go to perfect, for myself, a medium rare fan. You can go to 130 and allow them this to rest. We're going to push it a little bit more for demonstration purposes, but I'm a little bit below that 130 mark, but you can see how beautiful that is.
Now, depending on you, you could serve this, welcome to Classic French. This is dinner for two, or as Michael says,
Chateaubriand.
Chateaubriand. So, this is very classic. So, I have, and we would let this rest, but we're going to go ahead and we are going to slice.
Maybe just do one plate just because it needs to cook a little more, but for our video purposes.
Oh, it smells so good.
I'm going to come in there a little bit. Let's see our sauce.
Look how beautiful this is. So, the question is, would you put the gnocchis underneath or put the gnocchis on top? Me, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take my beef.
Again, allowing that to rest about 10 to 15 minutes.
We're going to set this here. And now, I am going to grab my beautiful gnocchis. Now, Did you see this? Look how beautiful our side dish looks.
Maybe set it off to the side. There we go.
Oh, I call it my sexy curve, and trust me, I have those. There we go. We're going to leave this here in case you want to see that. And then I have my beautiful sauce. So,
Again, you could put the beef on top like you said. That's up to you as you're serving that, of course.
So see our beautiful sauce. And like I said, I go ahead and I leave my shallots and garlic ready to go. So we have our beautiful dish. We have our salmon. And now, I know you're thinking, Susan, what about the dessert? I'm coming. Look how beautiful and reduced these are. So I'm going to take my brandy cherries and watch.
Kind of a dessert for two there.
Oh no, not for me, Michael. I am going to have extra dessert today. Yum.
That's a romantic time of the year.
So, again, love is in the air. We have our beautiful salmon with potato laki. We have our sauteed spinach, our citrus cream that you can see there, and our beautiful smoked salmon rose. Our cocoa
Chili.
I was going to say that 10 times fast. Cocoa chili rubbed beef, and look how beautiful this beef is. We did it with potato gnocchis and our pearl onions and cremini mushrooms, and I put peas in because of having something green. You could do asparagus,
Roasted peppers, perhaps. Maybe?
Roasted peppers or sun-dried tomatoes. And then last but not least, instead of doing banana Foster, we went ahead, had some fun, and did a brandy cherry Foster on some store-bought pound cake. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me and Michael for a romantic dinner in the kitchen.